Hello everyone. I meant to actually turn off the fan so that it wouldn't cause much noise. But, okay, welcome. Not picture perfect, that's okay. I just wanted to jump in on live. I wasn't able to a whole lot last week. I had the cold and I still kind of do. So you might still hear a little raspiness in my voice. It was pretty bad last week. I haven't been hit with the cold like that in a long time. And it's funny, most of my On Guard essential oil was done. So I was like asking all my friends if they had any. But I ordered like 2 or 3 extra just in case. But anyways, feeling a lot better. So I'm really glad to be able to jump on live. It's going to be kind of a busy week. I'm traveling a little bit. So I just wanted to be able to jump in live and kind of talk about this as we kind of wrap up this month, I guess, 10 more days or so around purpose, and really invite you to an opportunity to go deeper in this. So I just announced in my Facebook group, Healthy and Thriving Women, the winner of the Catalyze Your Purpose class in the essential oil sample set. It was someone locally, Kirsty, for the essential oils, and then someone online, Angie Snyder, for the master class. So Angie, let's get in touch and you can get the information for that. But I wanted to kind of, as I frame this experience for you, talking about the 7 steps to catalyzing your purpose, which was the freebie I released at the beginning of the month, that if you haven't grabbed it, definitely. And it's something we're going to actually use in the Purpose Masterclass because it is so in-depth, but we're going to go in a little bit, I'm just going to frame it a little bit better, and we're going to do specific things around each of those to actually put those into action versus them just being tips, and steps, The last step, I thought it was only fitting that I talk about the last step today. And the last step is around 7 tips to help you process and wait. So the first step, I'll kind of actually go through it with you. The first step is really discovering who you are as a person. And I talk about 3 different personality tests that can kind of help you know that. And personality tests are not the end all be all, but they are helpful in really letting you know who you are a little bit and your strengths and stuff, so forth. Then the next step is discovering your passions, getting really clear about what makes you really light up and gets your heart on fire. The third is your potential, your unique potential. And just once you start to open your mind to the possibility that your life has unlimited potential, you'll start to actually see that you were really made for more. Then the fourth part is after you realize all that, there's fear that happens. And then how do we work through that? The fifth is like, okay, now we're going to create what I call a purpose plan. How do we go forward? That's really the strategic element of it. And then create a promotion plan. And that is like, okay, now I have this plan. How do I let people know or promote what I'm about, regardless if it's paid or not? Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, marketing and all this sort of stuff. Can I just say something? Within the last year, a lot of people have come up to me and actually asked me or like wanted me to work to help them with their social media and marketing. And I'm not the most perfect when it comes to it. Clearly not. But I am just under the impression, and what I've seen is that personally, if I know that there's something that could bless someone and help someone and I'm excited about it, I'm just going to share about it. And I'm going to promote it and I'm going to invite people to it, right? And that's the same thing I'm talking about there. And regardless if it's paid or free, you need to feel the same amount of like tenacity and boldness and courage in sharing about it. And, when we get money into it, people get weird, and that's a whole other conversation we could talk about through the financial coaching I do. But that's a whole other conversation. But that's what I mean by promote it. Like, let's just share what we're up to and get people involved. So if you're a not-for-profit, you need to do the exact same thing, and if you're a for-profit, you need to do the exact same thing. The principles and the way to do it is almost the same. Now, the structure may be a little bit different. How you receive funds may be a little bit different, right? My husband runs a not-for-profit and I help him. So kind of get both sides. And then the 7th step, processing and waiting. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I'm really here right now. So I'm just going to let you all know. Oh, WhatsApp. I am a multi-purpose type thing. I just do multiple things. And many people will say that tears you away, and that is true. Like, if you're focusing on one thing, you can put a lot more energy. But who I am, if you know me, I'm very multi-everything. Hi, whoever joined. Feel free to say hello. And yes, if you guys are watching, feel free to say hello. It's not the best live etiquette. I'm just going with the flow. I do doTERRA essential oils. I have Madewell coaching, which, if you know, Madewell coaching is many different areas of coaching. I kind of working in conjunction with some other people around oils, around clinical oils, clinicians and people in the medical field. And then just recently started Shift Now, which is a collaborative coaching collective locally to really support locals, individuals, students, and corporations in really training and developing themselves and their people in all these different areas, right? And so that's like 4 different types of business ventures. And then within each of those are multiple things. And then on the other side, I'm the Young Caymanian Leaders Coordinator. I help my husband on the treasurer board / volunteer staff for his ministry. I'm involved in my church. I have a lot of things going on, and sometimes it's too much, but they all come together underneath what I believe is my one main purpose. And I'm actually getting very clear about how they all come together specifically, and that's actually why I'm going away, going for a conference with my husband, that we're going to discern from God. What is that ultimate thing? And I think we have some clarity around it, but basically, whatever it is, we are all about empowering people to love God, love others, and fulfill the calling on their lives, whether it's the general calling, to love God and love others, or whether it's specific to be a teacher, to be a scientist, to help women who are struggling in X, Y, and Z, whatever. I am so passionate about seeing people rise up to really walk in where they're supposed to be. I'm so passionate about it because for me in my story, it was when I knew who I was and knew who the God that created me and the worth and the value that I had and the responsibility that I had to take action. I'm someone you have to actually tell me to stop taking action sometimes and process and wait. But within that, there is a stage when it comes to your purpose that the struggle is real, where it may not feel like anyone's signing up for your stuff. It may feel like you're hitting against a wall when you tell people. It may feel like you've been pushing and trying for years and nothing seems to be happening the way you want it to, right? And that's usually what it is. Things are happening, just not the way you want it to. It is in those moments where we have to sit and process and be grateful for what we've done and wait. And the waiting is not sexy. You just got to wait. You got to be faithful. And there's this great book that one of my great mentors shared with me called Success. What is it called? Oh, it's not the Daily Edge. Slight Edge, Jeff Olson. But success is in the daily steps that you take that are not like huge events. It's not a huge event because let's tell you, one big sale or one huge event is a one-time thing. It is in doing the consistent things that are going to build your business, build your purpose, build your ministry, build your blog, whatever it is, up to a certain point that it's just going, and it's with ease. But it takes that consistency and waiting. And so the 7 tips I have that I'm actually following right now because I love everything I'm doing. I love it, love it, love it. I'm so passionate about it. But I'm not necessarily where I wanted to be. I'm in part of it, I'm where I never thought I would be. But there are some areas that I'm just not where I want to be at. So it's very easy to be like, forget this. Forget it. Why try? But no, we have to keep going. Well, let me tell you the first one. Write out your purpose statement and your why. When it seems like things are going slow, remember why. Why did you start what you're doing? Write it out. Say it as often as you can. For me, my why, my ultimate why is that I have struggled with so many things in my life, not feeling enough, perfection, shame around my weight, all these things. But it's actually this main issue of not feeling like enough that manifests and show itself in different areas. That actually, March is going to be a lot about that. Stay tuned. I am really excited. I think it's the climax of everything I've been working towards. We'll talk about that later. When I started to see that there were ways to eat well, there were ways to lose weight, there was ways to take care of myself, there was ways to do all these things, that I no longer had to feel shame because God loved me and people loved me and I was worthy and I belonged. I didn't want any other person that I knew, whether woman or not, to struggle. And so my why is mainly it started with eating and just restoring your relationship with food, your body, and yourself. That's what March is about. And just really seeing that I don't know it all, but I have something to offer. Whether it is encouragement, whether it's the knowledge, because I love to learn, I love to study, and I've gotten certified in many things, whether it's just being there and being compassionate and empathetic. So that's my why. And I have to go back to my testimonials. I have to go back to a post that someone said. I have to go back to, actually, even if I felt like no one was resonating with, I know my why. And I have to know it. The next step is a tip to process and wait in your purpose is to visualize your goal. Daily close your eyes and visualize what it would feel like, what it would look like to reach your goal. And I do this each morning. And it's not necessarily my overall big goal, but it's maybe that one little thing within that big goal. And I'm feeling, what would it feel like? What would it look like? What would need to be involved? And so I write it out. I sit there, I listen, I think. And writing out my why, visualization, and that's the whole point of vision boards, helps me get super, super clear. Okay? And then the third is to renew your mind daily. And this is where stuff like affirmations come in. Personal development books. I was just listening to the Success Principles earlier. I need to listen to my affirmations after. It's funny. I was talking to my husband. He's like, have you listened to your affirmations today? I'm like, not yet. Think Up is a great app to help with that. I could talk about that later. Scriptures, music, all that. Fill your mind with truth and encouragement. Okay, so first is write out your why, your purpose statement. 2, visualize your goal. 3, renew your mind daily and get support. 4, take action steps daily. Do one thing each day to move you forward. One thing. So my one thing today is, doing this video. It's also, I am going away, so I'm going to be planning stuff throughout the week, for coaching. Also, oils, like this is the BOGO week. If you've heard of BOGO, buy one, get one. And I'm going to prep for that, so when I'm away, it's not so stressful, right? And so doing those steps daily, and I'll be quite honest, there are moments I'm just struggling. It was last night I was struggling. This morning I was like, I got to do something. I actually did kind of this, visualize my goal, renewed my mind, and I was like, always get to this point, and I sit there and I say, I'm done feeling like this, and I'm done letting these negative thoughts rule me. So I'm going to do something. Got ready, showered, I'm going to start working. And I did, and I feel a lot better, right? So taking those steps daily. 5th one, this is super important, and I kind of do this in my bullet journal as much as I remember, is write down like one reflection from the day and celebrate. Every single action is a win. Every single win is a win. So celebrate it. Whatever it is, whether it's just sitting in a calm place and being like, I'm so grateful for that. Or whether it's, after every blog I post, I'm going to go get a pedicure. Whatever you want to do. Because if you just celebrate the end goal, you're going to spend all your life. Because some end goals take years. Example, doctors. When you're trying to be a doctor or you are a doctor, that takes a long time, right? If you just didn't celebrate yourself for each thing you learned or test you passed along the way, it's going to be miserable, right? So just celebrate and know you are moving towards it. The 6th thing is don't quit. Only you can do what you feel called to. Only you, only you, only you, right? So, when you think about quitting, think about why you started. Okay? 7th is to be still. There's a verse, Psalm 46:10, I think. It says, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations and the people. Like, just be still. God has your back. And the process is, we're one that you will have to wait, right? And a lot of times we say, why haven't I reached that thing like that person? Why don't I have as much like that? It's not about that. It is about you really being faithful. To know that this is your calling, this is something you have to do, and you need to go forward. Okay? So I'll review the 7 tips, and if you haven't grabbed the freebie yet, definitely do so. But 7 tips to help you process and wait as you move forward in your purpose. Write out your purpose statement and your why. Visualize your goal daily, what it's like to reach that goal, feels like. Renew your mind daily and get support, whether that's affirmations, scriptures, talking with someone. 4, take action steps daily. 5, reflect and celebrate. 6, don't quit. 7, be still. All right, so I'm actually like just doing these, I'm applying these today, and so just letting you know that it doesn't matter where you are on your journey, there's always this process of waiting and wondering, right? So I'm just going to invite you, if you are watching this and you are in a stage of your life where maybe you know kind of where you're at, your calling, your purpose, and you're trying to move forward, but you just want some more clarity and some support, or maybe you have no idea and you're just in a place of discovery. Or maybe you're like me, you're kind of discovered it, pursuing it, but how do I thrive in it more? It's just always good to go through these 7 steps again. So I want to invite you to the Catalyze Your Purpose Masterclass on the 3rd and the 4th. I am doing it online through Zoom. It's a workshop, so we're kind of going to go through some of this, talk about it, and then you're going to work through the questions, work through an exercise, and then we're going to debrief, and then it's going to be an intensive, for sure, because I actually needed more than 3, but I was like, I don't want to ask people to stay for more than 3. But that's the whole point of even having, there's going to be 2 Facebook group, there's going to be 2 weeks of Facebook group the week before and after. So that's why I'm really asking you to get in from now so that you can start that process of thinking about these things, so when we meet, you're kind of primed and ready to kind of talk about some of this stuff. So there is going to be a 3-hour group online one on March 3rd, 3 to 6 p.m. And then in person here at the Art Nest in Cayman from 3 to 6 as well on March 4th. So I'm trying to cater to both of my people online and here. It is $97 US for 2 weeks of Facebook group support and a 3-hour coaching session and all the resources that you'll need. That's where that money is coming from as well. And if you're here locally, just the currency exchange is it's 75 US. 75 CI and 97 US. So if you're online, you're going to pay 97. If you're here locally, you're going to pay 75. And so I really am excited about this. It's funny because I'm going to be honest. I'm like, sometimes I get discouraged in the things. I'm like, it's going to, maybe I was silly to do this or whatever. But then I'm like actually going through this and I'm like, no, people need to know that their calling matters, but it's hard sometimes, right? You get discouraged. And so I went through this and this encouraged me. Okay. So that's what I want to offer to you. I couldn't do it this Saturday because I'm away, but that's why it's right when I come back. And then after that, I start this kind of new series. So I just wanted you all to get in. So if you're interested, it is madewell345.com/catalyze your purpose masterclass. You will find all of the information there, how to sign up. You can sign up online for both the online and offline one, but please let me know if you have any questions at all. I really, really know this. I know in my heart this is something that people need and women need, and men can come too. And so please don't let this opportunity pass you by. And the deadline to register is really coming up soon. So I want you to get in and get at your spot and start the process of catalyzing your purpose. So, I'm going to put the link here so you can access it, and let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm going to go process and wait and take steps daily. About to record some podcasts for March. Like Game Changer podcast. I'm so excited. And if I'm nasally, you know why. Anyways, I will talk to you all later. Thanks for watching, and feel free to share any comments, introduce yourself, and so forth, right? Okay?